and welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to PC Constructor Simulator, PC Building Simulator, sorry. Always get it wrong, I don't know why. I'm playing too many simulators at the moment, I think. Yes, welcome. We are back. As you can see, I'm already in. Basically, all I've done is I collected the delivery of the new thermal one and I've removed the old thermal. That's all I've done. Very little, in fact. We are now going to fix this though. So you see we can install it over the CPU there. Now again, I was annoyed because I purchased a fan cooler because all it said was replace the cooler and it didn't specify which. So I was a little bit annoyed, but it was the only mistake I've made so far. Oh hello, this is going to be interesting because you have to make sure it's the right position. I would say it looks like that. It's difficult to see where the power goes. Ideally it is going to connect to the CPU. I mean, does it actually make a difference? As long as it's over the fixtures, doesn't necessarily make a difference. Okay, it should clip into one of these clips here in theory. Ah, you see it's there. I didn't see where it was. Okay, well in that case we're going to put it back in. Now I know where I'm looking. Yeah, can we zoom in? Thank you. Oh, actually, because if the plug is coming out here, this is ideal for it to be plugged into there in theory. That should be fine. Let's have a look. There you go, it's just straight there. Just a nice little wire. And yeah, you always get plugs and sockets around where things generally need to be plugged into. That's just common sense, to be honest. Okay, so let's zoom out again. So now we need to make sure it works. So everything needs to be plugged in. I did check the music, because if you remember last week we actually had a whole bunch of very strange Christmas music, and I did check. And yeah, there is one Christmas song. Yeah, there is one Christmas song on the collection, which is just strange. So I've turned that off. So we should not get that. Side panel. Why have we got two side panels? Oh, did I take both side panels off? I think I did. Yes, because I bought the fan. Didn't I? So I had I wasn't sure where to stick the fan. Turned out I know exactly where to stick the fan. In the recycle bin. Okay, there we go. So that is now all complete and lovely. So it is officially done. We are done. This one we still can't do. It wants us to upgrade, but it's not going to arrive for another 2 days. It took the whole 5 days for delivery, and that's not great. So we still can't do that one yet. So we're just going to leave that for now. It's no good bringing it in, I don't think. So it's this one. It's all done. Thank you. We will collect that money. Now, bearing in mind we've got to pay bills tomorrow, and I don't know how much the bills are going to be. We've now got new things. Thank you. So this one we're waiting on. This one is done. This also needs 16 gigs of RAM. But again, I'm not going to buy anything new just yet because I want to pay the bills first and then buy the stuff that's needed. So I might end up doing all 3 of these, because this looks like it's just cleaning. So all 3 of these might be done on the same day. Let's have a look. I recently upgraded my PC, but now it's not working properly. The computer boots okay, but when I try and benchmark it and run a game, the computer crashes. Tell me about it. The problems I had yesterday, that game kept crashing and it really annoyed me. I hadn't replaced my PSU. Could my new parts be drawing too much power? So install that and run that. Alright, well if it's in, I mean, it's interesting. What is that? I'm assuming that will determine power levels in a PC, perhaps? Tell you what, we're going to accept it. We'll get it in. It might be something we have on a USB drive. I'd be surprised if that was a thing to buy, like a component. It's not something I've ever heard of. So we're going to accept it. It will come tomorrow. This one, can you clean out by the end of tomorrow? Yep, we can do that. So we've got 2 coming in, and we've got 2 that we're not going. We've got 1 here, and 1 we're going to do the day after. So yes, you see, this is the music, and you see there's the Christmas one down the bottom. I put them on random and repeat, so it should change up the music. Even though it feels like we've got the same one going over and over again, it's fine. Like, this ain't a bad song. So we're going to leave that one there, and we're going to move on to the next day. Yeah, there you go. So we've got the 2 coming through. And then we'll see what happens here. Pay the utility bill. Clean up required must be done today. Can we pay? I don't know how to pay the utility bill. Let's see. Because technically we can do the clean up. Here we all are. Right, so we can do this one straight away. Bop. And we're going to remove this here, because this will give us a little bit of extra money as well. Okay, clear everything up. That's all nice now. It still doesn't look nice, but it looks okay. It looks better than it did. I suppose that's the main thing here. As long as it looks better than it did. All the dust is clean, and I can tell because it goes green. It's weird that it wants me to test that it can boot. Why have I now got 2 covers? Does a cover come off when I remove this or something? I've now got 2 PCI covers. I don't understand. Can't fit. No, it's weird. I don't fully get why I've got those. Alright, well, we're going to keep going anyway. Like I said, I get, you know, I understand that you have to make sure that it fits, that it works. Because if you return it and they say to you, it doesn't boot, what did you do? And you didn't actually check, you could be in a lot of trouble. However, okay. What on my holidays? The politics of Starship Troopers, end of year. Doom, nice. Okay, let's shut down. All done. And we are done here too. So that'll be nice. Got that one done. Okay, we've got the clean out. Collect. There we go. Nice little bit of money. It's not a massive amount. We can get rid of that as well. We have a new one. Motherboard. Oh, that's going to be interesting because we're going to have to put everything back on it. Nice. That's fun. New parts are available. Always getting new parts. Lovely. Please pay. Oh, okay. Pay that. It's actually not as much as I thought it was going to be. So I'm fine with that. Now, let's have a little look at... Install that. Let's grab this and just see exactly... It is, because it says, what is it? It's a Power King. Let's just have a quick look on the shop and just see. Power King. So it is a power supply. Okay, 600. 600 or better. Alright, we're going to add that to the cart. I should have checked before, but it doesn't matter, because I wanted to pay the bill. I didn't want to do any new buying at the moment. And now we need another 16 gigs. But we're going to have to check the stats, I think. The Morchi H170 MTech. So it's this one that they've got. Maximum RAM 26666. They want 16 gig. We've got what? 4 gig, 2 400s. Sorry, that's 8 gig at 2.4, and that's 70. So we can get 2 of those. That makes sense to me. That'll give them 16. I don't know what they've already got. What did they already have? Okay. Upgrade 216. They've already got Group Team T-Force Dark Red 266 8 gig. So we just need to buy one of those for 266 8 gig. There you go. I'm gonna buy one of these because they've already got one. You see, I mean, I'd be stupid if they only had one space. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna take the risk. This is what you need to do. It's red 266. It all matches. We'll add that to the cart as well. So this will fix the one that we want that needs the gigs, and this will give him what he needs. All right, let's read this one out because this will be the next one. We can do them all in theory. Hi there. I hope you can help. My computer stopped working the other day and will not turn on. I've been there. Please can you look at it for me? I think it might be the motherboard. I know it needs a Skylake socket. Okay. Hi, Immunist. I've spotted your message. You've said you need help. How can I help? Let me know, and I'll see if I can help. So they're currently using... Okay, the same. They're using the bog standard one. Okay. See, it would very much depend on the motherboard. Would depend that the motherboard would really qualify, because 9 times out of 10 you will find most power supplies. Let me see if I can open up my my specs. Yeah, run that. Most power supplies that you have for cases will mostly provide more than enough power. The thing that you could have problems with are connectors more than anything else. But if you're just doing a standard 16 gig, yeah, it will come down to the power because obviously the motherboard will supply the power to the CPU and obviously to the RAM. So you just have to make sure that the motherboard is being supplied with enough power. Because yeah, I'm using, what am I using on this one here? Yeah, so I mean, you would be looking to get double my processor. I've currently got a Ryzen 5 1500 and 16 gig RAM. So yeah, you'd be looking to get twice my CPU, but it's the motherboard itself that provides the power. So what I would suggest, I mean, every motherboard website has the full specs for that motherboard specifically, and it will detail for you. I'm looking around because I've got all the boxes around me as well. I'm seeing if I can see the motherboard box for mine. Yeah, you see, I've got that one there. Bear with me a second, just 1 second. Let's have a look. Can I reach that? You guys come here. Oh. Is that gonna? No. Okay. Right. So this is. Let's bring this closer. All right. So this is the box for my motherboard. But it doesn't. Because I think the way that here we go. Let's look at the. Have a little look at this. Yeah, I think the way that I looked at it. Yeah, the way that I looked at the power supply was the higher the power isn't going to affect what you are providing for your system, because when at the end of the day, when you get it, there will be proper connectors that plug into the motherboard. You'll see it in a minute actually. If you keep watching me, when I replace this guy's motherboard, I'm going to have to replace all the different sockets and everything in a minute, so you'll see that in a minute. But basically it will provide the power into the motherboard through the correct connectors, and there's no as far as I'm aware, I can't understand why it would overpower, because the connectors are designed specifically to provide a specific amount of power, and technically that's why you get them as different shapes, so that you can't accidentally plug one that provides more power to something that can't handle it because it's a different shape. Let's see if it does say anything, but it doesn't, because again, I don't think it is a case of you have to have a specific. See, because this guy's talking about he wants a new power supply. But yeah, if I were you, it's one of those things that the motherboard description should explain exactly the power minimum that you should need, and then I would say that's the best place to look for that specifically. Okay, so they want a Skylake socket, motherboards, but you see, this is going to be if it needs a new one. See, I can just replace the motherboard they've got, because in theory, if the motherboard is broken, it's just the H17 MTech. So I can just, in theory, just get that, because that will be just a direct replacement for the one that they say ain't working. So let's add that as well. So then we'll go next day delivery, and then everything should arrive tomorrow. Click, click. So now they're all on their way, and I can technically accept them all so that they will all arrive tomorrow as well. You're already here. There we go. So those are now all ready to go, and there's nothing else I can do today. So we will progress. In fact, I'm gonna, because I know I need to do that. Let's place you down there. And we've paid the utility bill. We did our upgrade, and everything else is happening tomorrow. Okay, so let's end the day. Let's go to work. Everything should be here. Yep. Let's pick up all the pieces. Oh, look at all of that. Lovely. So what we got? That's the RAM. That is the motherboard. So let's do this one first. Okay. Zoom in a little bit. Let's start by removing the case. And we could technically remove both sides, because we're going to have to probably like get the cables across. So let's kind of remove this as well. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. And then we'll go right. So it's the motherboard that we're removing. So the first thing we have to do is just kind of lift everything off. So we're going to start. We'll start with the clips of the RAM. Clips of the RAM. Then we'll unplug the fan, and then we will take off the shield, and we'll take out the CPU. Out you come. So we will then remove that there. We will remove this here. These are all the first one I believe was, well, these are all cables that go to things like the power button, all the lights, the USBs. They all connect to these little kind of slots, and if you don't plug them in correctly, then they won't work. So you have to kind of make sure that they're all in correctly. Okay, this connects it to the hard drives. This is the lights by the look of it. And then we've got the graphics card as well. Oh, yeah, we've got to unscrew it. And now the motherboard can be removed. Loads of little screws. See, and it comes down again, you have to make sure you have the right sized case as well, because as you can see, this little section here fits nicely here. If you have a case that's too small, or a different shape, then this won't fit in here, and it just won't fit. And it comes, and there it goes. So what we're now going to do, oh, okay, we're removing the braces as well. Couldn't work out why it wouldn't let me back onto my, because I've bought the same hard drive, I would have just kept the same braces, but you know, we're doing it properly, so yeah, it tells me all the property. Oh well, that's good. That's good at least. Okay, so we've got motherboards. We'll install this one. Okay, so first thing obviously is you put your braces on your case. This lets it sit and allow air to flow underneath it, otherwise it will get too hot. So you can see there's a nice gap there if you want to put a fan on the back as well for more high powered. You then screw it into the case. There you go. Now, what the next thing we're going to do, see, I have to make sure I've got the right ones. Yeah, you see, good. I'm glad it done that, because otherwise, you know, I may not, because I bought fancy ones, it was easier to tell, but, okay, so we've got the two. Now, I tend to, go for the RAM first, just because the RAM is probably the easiest. And the way that it tends to work is you make sure it goes in the right way. It will only fit round one way, and then you just push it down until it clicks. These side bits will physically click closed if you put it in correctly. That, I will say, is actually where this is wrong, because it's telling open. Oh no, so it did, yeah, because now I can open the clips. Yeah, these clips will physically close as you push the RAM in, and then they'll click close. Once it clicks in, the RAM are in. You can't hurt it. I mean, if you go ridiculously hard, you can, but obviously it's advised you don't go ridiculously hard. So we're now going to plug in the graphics card. Now the thing is, yeah, the graphics card will only fit in certain slots, so you have to remove the part of the case to allow you access. Because it's the same one, we can always just fit it in the same position, so that's not a problem. Now let's do the CPU. Now I have had a lot of people say that you can kind of bend the CPU, the little feet. The thing with the CPUs most of the time is they will only fit one way round. There's no messing around, there's no maybe they go this way, maybe they go that way. They will only fit one way, and if you try to put it in and force it, you can snap off the connectors. If you put it round the right way, it will just fall straight in. There won't be any resistance, there won't be any issues, it will just go straight in where it needs to be. So the idea is, if you're having problems fitting it, make sure you're putting it in the right way round, because I've never had any major issues with CPUs as long as you put them in the right way round. So now let's see cooling. Oh yeah, we could technically just get rid of that, it's broken. Okay, now we'll put this on. See, now this is a bigger one with a fan. 9 times out of 10, you want the fan, for me, and again, people could argue different things, but you want the fan 9 times out of 10 to be facing the gap at the back, because in most cases there will be a fan here, and the fan is to draw hot air out of the case. So if you have the fan to draw the hot air off the CPU going straight into the fan that comes out of the case, then it will just leave the case. Whereas if you're to have it faced that way round, the hot air will go into the case and it could heat up the inside. So I'm going to face it that way anyway. If it will let me. It won't let me? There you go. Okay, so apparently this one wants to fit that way round. Most air coolers that I've seen tend to go most ways round, so see what you've got. Okay, so that is on. So that's everything physically fitted in. Let's have a little look. Make sure that we don't have anything else. We've got the broken motherboard, which we'll just get rid of because we don't need it. Those are for the other people. That's for the other guy. And then yeah, we've got that which I purchased. I'm just going to keep because I'm sure someone will probably need it at some point. And then we've got the sides. Okay, so that's all the pieces put in. Now we're going to do the cables. So, first of all, and again, this isn't going to be easy to explain just because it kind of already, you know what I mean? This here is the power plug. This is the power. So this is where you will plug your power unit directly into your motherboard. 9 times out of 10, it will look like that. Depending on what you have plugged in, what it can have plugged in. So yeah, we're going to connect that to the power, and it goes round the back and up and in, because you don't really want cables draping along here if you don't need to have them. And we're going to plug the cooler in, otherwise the CPU will melt. Please don't forget that. It will beep 9 times out of 10. They're set up with beeping in case there is an issue of overheating. So we're going to plug the hard drives in. It doesn't matter which one. 9 times out of 10, if you read your motherboard manual, it will give you a configuration order for these, because you will essentially have, let's see, does it, no, can't really get close enough. One of these will actually be your HD 0, and that will be your main booting port, and then after that they're just extras. So we're just going to plug it in there. By the look of it, they only have one anyway, so it will just draw from that one, so that's fine. Now we're going to connect this. Now these are all the cables I was talking about. All of these little twos, you'll get one little connector that will go across 2 pins, but this whole configuration layout will be listed in your motherboard manual, and it will be like the 2 at the top will be the power light, the next 2 will be the reset button, and the next 2 will be the power button, and all of these kind of stuff. So you have to make sure you put the right things into that. They'll plug in there. And that will make sure that the case, all of these things on the top, will work through your case. I think that's everything. I mean, that's pretty much all it is. The hardest part of this, really, is it depends on the setup that you're going to have. When I built my PC, I've got 4 hard drives. I've got 1 SSD hard drive which connects directly into, it's just like a chip that fits on the motherboard. I've got 2 regular hard drives which are in the case, and I've got 1 external hard drive. So getting kind of the layout set up for them, as well as fitting these cables, is always fiddly. But predominantly, I mean, what you just saw is what building a PC is. That's exactly how tough it is, really. You just make sure that the power is plugged in. You make sure that the CPU fan is plugged in. That is incredibly important. None of these have to be plugged in. The only one has to be plugged in is the power button. As long as you can turn the power on and off, the rest of them don't matter necessarily for the running of an actual PC. Yeah, the hard drives, and then just the components. And yeah, again, when I build PCs, I kind of choose what I'm interested in, but pick the motherboard first, because the megahertz of the RAM, the power of the CPU, all of the kind of what type of and what power graphics card you can have, all depend on the motherboard that you're buying. That's the most important thing, because that will dictate everything. So let's see if I've been able to do it correctly. Let's plug everything in, because we need to make sure that it can boot. We've got one more plug in there. Looks like there's still is. See, I can't tell what's this. Connect case. So where does it want me to plug that in? Once we plug that in down there. So these are more case. Okay, so I'm assuming those are more. They might be the USB, perhaps. I think they might be for the USBs, because they will sometimes require some different connectors. But again, it will all be dictated by the little panels that will be listed on your thing. So now I can't see any more orange. See, a lot of the time the USBs on the front aren't quite powerful enough anyway for a lot of things. Let's have a look. Here we go. there you go, all done. So we can now just put the side panels back on, and the PC is ready to go. So yeah, with regards to the power that you need for your system, the thing would be is to kind of look at what is available. Look at the motherboard that you are going to buy, and the case as well, and see exactly what the instructions for the motherboard say that the power is required, because that is what you need to look for. And yeah, the one thing I can say is it's honestly the power unit in your let's do this one now, because this is a power unit. The power unit in your case is one of the cheapest items you'll buy out of everything in your setup. Most of the time they will probably be the cheapest thing. So the PC before the one I'm using now, I actually messed up slightly because oh yeah, if it's on, it slots in here. Yeah, I messed up slightly because I bought the wrong power. It didn't have the right connection to plug into my motherboard, and it simply wouldn't allow me undo that, undo that, and undo that. Now we can take the power out. There it goes. But all I did was buy another one. It was annoying because it meant that power supplies. Yeah, it was really frustrating because what it meant was I had to wait another day, because I believe it was literally just it is, yeah, there you go. Obviously you have to order it, and then everything's just sitting there with a whole new PC. Will not work because there's no power. But yeah, it will be the cheapest item you'll buy. So if you do end up buying the wrong one, honestly, it's not that bad as it could be. Like if you bought a graphics card that didn't fit, and you had to get one that was a completely different fit-in, that's a costly mistake. So yeah, always make sure those bits are definitely correct. So that's all plugged in. So now we need to get the cables back. Plug the hard drives in, and plug the motherboard in, and plug the motherboard in. There we go. So that's everything there. Now we have to run 3D Mark. So let's run that. And then plug that in. We'll put the side panel back on now because we know that, everything is now plugged in, so that's fine. So now we power. Oh, actually, that's alright. Didn't put the USB on. Oh no, it's already here. I was going to say, I wasn't sure it was on the... I assumed it was on the USB, but okay. Run. There you go. So it's testing, yeah, the power of the GPU, making sure there are no issues. So in theory, I should have the power box here as well. Oh, hello, we're getting some detail of little dioramas now, are we? Looks like the Vietnam War from Far Cry. That's what that looks like. And I'm assuming we just leave this running. We'll leave it running and see. Yeah, well, that's... Can I... What's the name of the one I use? Let's have a look. eBuyer. eBuyer is pretty good. I'm in the UK. eBuyer is a pretty good parts. They sell parts and components, power supplies. So if you look at the power supplies, and yeah, 30 to 50 quid roughly, and it does tell you kind of the size of it and the size that is required for which case. When it's like that, you can get like a 750 watt modular power supply for 150 quid. For me, that feels... It's only got 1 star. It's got half a star by the look of it, so that's probably a definite no. But yeah, it's just making sure that it has... The one I've clicked on, it says like Kaby Lake ready, so you can make sure that it is ready for that specific connector, because obviously some of them will work with different fittings, but it tells you how many outputs it comes with and the different types. So it's got one 24-pin ATX with a detachable 4-pin selection, so it tells you that if you've got that on your motherboard, then this will power your motherboard. It also has an 8-pin power. So yeah, that's the main thing. This one also comes, which is good for you if you are going to be doing this, which I feel like you might be. It comes with 2 8-pin PCI Express powers. That is important because that will be extra power for your graphics cards. The PCI Express will be the graphics card, and that's what you're going to be wanting to do. I would think with the system it sounds like you are building. Yeah, it's worth having that. Okay, so is that what we needed to do? Can we go back now? And then we'll close. And we'll shut this down. I think that was what we needed. I think that was everything. Yeah, okay, we're done. It's another one done. Now the RAMs in theory should be easy enough. So this one looks like it needs to be fanned. I'm probably just gonna get rid of that for them anyway, because let's remove this, because they're covered in dust and they can always be done with a little bit of dust clearing. Okay, so let's first of all, it's just an extra favour. We don't need to do this. Well, they haven't asked us to do it, but like giving it an MOT, that will definitely help with the power. There you go. We've got that. And then we'll get this. Do that bit, that bit. There you go. That looks all nice and lovely now, I think. So this one's the one with the red. So let's memory red. Oh no, wrong one. There we go. We'll close that one. I'll close that back. So there, that's now in. There you go. We have upgraded it because one already was an 8. So that's not a problem. We're going to put the part back on. Because like we said, if it doesn't work, it was either the RAM we bought is an error and it's not going to be able to fix it today. And if it's something that's nothing to do with what we've replaced, then it's not our job anyway. So, alright, let's go in. That should be pretty simple. There you go. All done. Have I been? I have. I haven't been unplugging it. I've just realised I haven't been unplugging the cables. If I pick it up, it automatically unplugs them for me. So I've learned a new little shortcut. Oh. Okay, so this is the last one, and then this will probably be it for the stream as well. So yeah, so Immunist, the thing I would say is, zoom in. First of all, if you know already what motherboard you're going to be getting and the case itself, then the first thing I would advise you do is go to the, if you don't already have them, I would say go to the creator of that motherboard and go to get the specs, get the official manual. That will give you exactly the information that you need to know. If you read through the motherboard, if it doesn't specify exactly what power you need in the book, the one thing it will do is it will tell you exactly what power fitting you have, the amount of connectors. So like with mine, with the power supply that I just read, it specifies 1 power 24 pin ATX with a detachable 4 pin section. So that is a row of 20 and a 4 with a detachable 4 pin section. So if your motherboard says it has that connection on your motherboard, then you know that when you're reading through your power supplies, you have to make sure it has that on it. And then the PCI Express, the 8-pin PCI Express is good for most graphics cards, as far as I'm aware. Most graphics cards will have that. Can't guarantee that that's the case, but your graphics card instruction manual will tell you that as well. It's just I would say what it comes down to is reading. It comes down to reading all the information of all the items that you're buying, making sure you know exactly the shape, the size, the power, make sure they all fit together, because everything will be described in the instruction manuals for all of the items that you're getting. Okay, that works. We can shut that down, and there we go. So we have just completed every single job. So let's now say you're done. Let's see our money. Right, so we are just over half on level 2, and we are $768. So we've done you. We have done that one. We have done that one. Ooh, nice. Bongo is a new review site that customers will leave feedback. Oh, nice. So we will now start getting feedback as well. Oh, yeah, we've got star system as well. Oh, yeah, because we've reached level 3. Nice. And then we got replace the motherboard. You can collect that as well. Oh, look, we got a 5-star for that. Damn right we did. We did a fantastic job. And now they want us to clean out the dust. See, I listed this originally as how many viruses, because in the first video just everyone was doing a virus scan. Instead, Everyone now just needs everything cleaning. It's funny. We have to have 1 star to be able to do this job. What's this? So we've unlocked a whole host of new parts. Lovely. Hello from sunny Spain. I've just been surfing on the beach. I notice your rating is in the toilets. What are you doing over there? I've only just started. I've attached the login details. You'd better get it installed and check it out. You need to get your star rating up, or you'll be stuck just cleaning and scanning. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, I can't get in there, so that's the way it is. And then this is more new parts. Alright, so tomorrow we have, well, next week now, I think. We have 1 item coming in that literally just needs cleaning. But we're now on 2 grand, and we're just a way over level 3, which means, in theory, that's level 8. Second workbench costs us 1,500. There it is. We have ourselves a we've got 2 workbenches. I don't know that I need it, but I have it. Now let's see what we have here. Got that, we can sell. Yes. We've got the power supplies used, but we could always keep it. Don't know that we need to get rid of it necessarily, and we'll keep that as well. I didn't necessarily need to sell the memory either. We probably could have kept that for later, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll keep the other 2 that we got. So yeah, that was PC Building Sim. We went for another bunch of days, did a whole nother load of stuff, and I hope that I helped in any way. I really do love this. I mean, again, it's frustrating when you have to constantly be at people's beck and call to kind of help family and friends with the slightest thing that goes wrong. But I like actually building PCs. It's fun. It's because the idea is that you have a PC for a set amount of time, and like now my PC I've had for about a year or so, maybe 2, and I'm probably going to have it for a very long time because it's relatively decent. You know, it does what I need it to. So I'm not necessarily going to be in a position to upgrade it, so I'm just not building PCs. So this is great because I get to actually build PCs in this. It's fantastic. So yeah, get rid of that. You really want to delete that one. Yes, new save, enter. There we go. Lovely. Don't know what these are. What's this? Ooh, I wonder what that's going to be. Yeah, so thank you so much. This went so much better than yesterday. If you want to see that fast, then by all means go ahead and watch that. If you didn't see what happened yesterday. It's a long video for nothing happening. But tomorrow I'm going to be playing Card Life. We're going on an adventure because we're going to go and hunt things, because we can't really do much with what we have now, so we have to go and hunt stuff to try and get things to upgrade. So that'll be tomorrow. Thank you so much. If you watched and enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.